This is a HeadGum podcast.
Hello and welcome to The Complete Guide to Everything, a podcast about everything. I am one of your hosts, Tom.
And I'm Tim.
Tim, how are you doing this week?
Tom, I am jolly, just like the man upstairs, Santa Claus. How are you doing this week?
Santa Claus is not the man upstairs.
Yeah, all the way up at the North Pole.
That's not upstairs, Tim. That's not the way...
North of here, up.
Yeah, no, that's on a compass, but not in reality.
All right, by way of compass, the man upstairs, Santa H. Claus.
You're jolly like him.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's because I'm in a holiday spirit, Tom.
Good. Glad to hear that.
How are you this week?
Tim, I've been better. I haven't been sleeping well lately.
Why not? Yeah, you kind of look like hell right now.
Yeah.
I didn't want to say anything, but now that you opened the door,
Yeah.
it's a rude thing to say, like, man, you look like garbage. Have you not been sleeping well?
Yeah. But in
now,
this case, it would have been justified because I haven't been
well,
sleeping
the shackles are off, my friend. I can say whatever I want. And you're ugly, too. And you smell bad.
I keep having this dream, and it's starting to freak me out. You ever have one of these dreams where you wake up and you can't move and there's a man in your room?
No.
Yeah.
That's a thing, though. What is that called?
It's like sleep paralysis.
Yeah. Now, are you awake when it's happening?
I can't tell. It certainly seems like I am.
I have sleep paralysis. Like, I frequently, wake up. Mm-hmm. It's often when I fall asleep. I'm making this about me. If you haven't... I interrupted your story. Now let me tell you what happens to me. If I, fall asleep and then wake up... If I wake up in the morning and then I go back to sleep and then wake up again and keep going back to sleep, like one of those situations, at some point I'll wake up and I just can't move.
Okay. Yeah, because your body gets all confused.
Yeah, and I either have to go back to sleep or, really panic and I, gather all my might and try to punch the air, and usually that gets me out of it. But there's never a man involved. Tell me more about this man.
Tim, I don't know much about this man. All I know is that he's always leaving the room as I'm trying to get up. And I'm trying to yell at him hey, get back here.
But you can't.
Who are you? Yeah.
Now, this is happening frequently enough
it's
that
happened a few times.
You're losing sleep over it.
Yeah, wouldn't you?
Yeah, no. But I have nightmares.
Every night it's oh, great. Now I get to go to sleep and then the man's going to come and then I can't get him.
That sounds like a nightmare. And I would have a nightmare like that. But it would the fact that this is happening to you all the time is alarming.
I don't know what his face looks like. I suspect maybe he's going to turn around one time and not have a face.
Oof. And you know what? I would hope that it would be something supernatural like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't that calm you? Okay, it's definitely not real. Oh no, you're a guy who believes a lot of crazy things.
Well, Tim, you know what? If you knew as much as I do about the occult, you would too. No, I kind of would because, in my dreams, I'm always thinking it's like a robber, like a prowler, a cat burglar,
or a peeping Tom. And there's not enough. There's only room for one peeping Tom in your apartment. That's
this Tom.
Yeah,
this Tom does all the peeping.
Yeah.
You think I spent all this money installing these hidden cameras everywhere for somebody else to just come in and peep?
So you peep on yourself. Do you go back and watch videos of you?
Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't even know I'm watching.
Yeah, do the dishes.
You don't do that. You don't do the dishes.
They're so dirty. No, I watch the videos and I tell myself in the past to do the dishes.
Oh, and it doesn't work. Get up, stop playing video games.
Do the dishes.
Stinks in here.
But yeah, it's you know what I think it is that I'm definitely dreaming, and it's gotten to the point where I know I'm dreaming. I know it's a dream. And I'm wake up, you idiot. And I can't wake up.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
That's some Freddy Krueger stuff.
Yeah. One thing you know about dreams is that if you know you're dreaming and you go all right, show's over, pal, wake up. You wake up right away.
Quick question.
Yes.
Did you ever burn a man in a fire?
Maybe. Why? I don't see how that's relevant.
A guy that was doing bad things to kids. Did you ever burn him?
Well, if I did, Tim, it sounds like maybe he deserved it.
This is troubling, Tom.
Yeah. Nightmare on Elm Street. I've never really seen a Nightmare on Elm Street, but the idea of being attacked in your dreams, that's such a scary idea. And then you just can't sleep? If you go to sleep, you'll die?
Yeah, but guess what?
What?
It's just a movie.
I know, but I'm saying...
It is a scary idea, but it's so outside the realm of possibility.
Well, that's what you think.
Well,
nobody would ever believe you, Tim, because you can't bring them into the dream with you.
Maybe if whenever you read in the newspaper that somebody died peacefully in their sleep, maybe that wasn't peaceful.
No, maybe Freddy Krueger came for their ass.
Yeah, or somebody else that they murdered.
Yeah, you got some like a little lady. Oh, she passed away peacefully in her sleep. No, she passed away being chased by a man with needle hands.
Yeah, that she ran down in her car years earlier.
Yeah,
thought nobody knew about it.
Not needle hands. What did he have? He had a
razor.
Blade. Yeah, razor hands,
like straight razors, right?
Yeah, kinda, but specially made for him.
Yeah,
but they were on a glove. They weren't part of him.
Right, that's a very someone like distinction. You, yeah, that's canon, right?
Which kind of doesn't even make sense how it would work that way.
What, you put on
They'd just be like floppy in that leather glove. You'd
maybe
have like a bunch of floppy razors.
No, maybe they're reinforced, like they're pulled taut by like some elastic or some strings that go all the way down.
You think Freddy Krueger's got the kind of engineering know-how to pull this off?
He found those razors and grafted them onto a glove somehow.
Yeah, but I'm just saying it doesn't, he was a janitor at a school.
I think so. Yeah. I might just be thinking of the Simpsons parody of Nightmare on Elm Street.
That 90% of pop culture that I know is just The Simpsons.
I know nothing about Watergate other than like references from The Simpsons.
Never seen Cape Fear, but I've seen The Simpsons version. So it's like, yeah,
we're smart. We're aware of things.
Yeah,
I had the best teacher in the world, Bart Simpson.
Tim, he's a terrible teacher. He's always got detention.
I was that kid that wasn't allowed to wear the Bart Simpson T-shirt to school.
But you could wear it around the house?
No, my mom wouldn't even buy it for me.
I see. Yeah, I think
She thought he was a bad role model. I was like, yeah, no shit, Mom, but he's a cartoon character.
I believe I was allowed to have the one that said Cowabunga Dude. I was not allowed to have the one that said Eat My Shorts.
Oh, I was definitely not allowed to have the one that said I'm Bart Simpson, who the hell are you?
Oh, yeah. Because, no, that was
jeepers.
Off the table.
Yeah, come on, everybody. But the one that I especially wasn't allowed to have was the one that said underachiever and proud of it.
Oh, yeah, because that sends a bad message to the youth of America.
I didn't even know what underachiever I was 7.
Yeah. I had a large collection of Big Johnson shirts.
Did you?
that my grandmother bought, not knowing what they were.
Oh, no.
Which I never wore because I was embarrassed.
What was the conceit of Big Johnson? Was there a man, Big Johnson?
No, there was like a character, but he wasn't. I don't think he was Big Johnson. He might have been. It was never really clear.
Right.
But the conceit of Big Johnson was that they were a sports equipment manufacturer that sold things that were innuendos to large penises.
Right. I mean, straight down from the name of their company, I would say.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So which ones did you have?
I think I had... I'm exaggerating. I didn't have like a collection. I think I had 1 or 2.
Okay. You're really walking this back.
Yeah. But it was still like very...
Yeah, they shouldn't like grandma's near a Spencer's Gifts.
It wasn't Spencer's. It was Lowman's in the village, Tim.
Yeah, they also had all those co-ed naked shirts.
Yeah. Those had some titillating ideas on them,
They really did.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't even need to go find nudie mags in the woods.
No, it's just like...
look at the shirt in the back of the scumbag in front of us in homeroom.
Yeah, and just think about that idea of, whoa, yeah, imagine if volleyball was co-ed and naked.
Yeah.
And there'd be balls in the sand or whatever the innuendo was.
Yeah, balls in the sand. That makes sense. Yeah, were they all just balls jokes?
They're all balls and shaft and pole.
Pretty cool shirts. Did you also play Leisure Suit Larry a lot?
No, I did not. I was not. You know what? It wasn't even that I wasn't allowed to play Leisure Suit Larry. I think the thought of playing Leisure Suit Larry didn't cross my mind.
It seemed like scummy, but also it just seemed like a real boring game.
Yeah,
so and you don't jump on things.
Well, you know what? When you're like a kid and you're like going through puberty, coming of age, as I call it.
Mm-hmm. That's what I call it too.
Something like Leisure Suit Larry, like some risque satire, is not what you're after.
No.
You're like, I want to see like an actual photograph of a woman in a bikini.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, this is not like I don't know. Like, if I'm gonna see a cartoon lady in a bikini,
Yeah.
like I don't even really know what I'm looking at. I don't have. I mean, this doesn't.
I got no frame of reference. here.
Exactly. It's like if you never saw a dolphin, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you always saw these like pictures of dolphins. You'd be like drawings. You'd be like, I don't know what is this? The thing that this fell apart. I don't know the point I was trying to make here.
Yeah, well, one way or another, Tim, you came off like a real pervert.
Tom,
Yeah.
let's get down to brass tacks.
Okay.
It's brass tack season. Otherwise known as the holiday season,
Yeah.
otherwise known as the Toys R Us toy catalog season. What are you going to get under that Christmas tree? All your favorite toys.
Was there a Toys R Us toy catalog?
Yeah, what are you, nuts?
Oh, I remember that now. That didn't come to the house, though, did it? Or did you have to go get it?
Maybe your parents hid it from you.
Yeah, they might have. I remember getting the J.C. Penney catalog, and that
Yeah.
had like a smattering of toys.
We're talking about toys. This is the 2016 Holiday Toy Gift Guide,
Yeah.
sponsored by the J.C. Penney Toy Catalog.
Today's top toys from tots to teens.
And all in betweens.
Yeah. And tweens.
And queens.
Like Queen Elizabeth?
Yeah.
She's too old for toys.
She's, well, yeah, okay.
All
All right, okay, hold on.
Yes.
When you got that JCPenney toy catalog,
Yeah.
or any, yeah, I feel like it was mostly the JCPenney catalog.
Yeah. There were like 4 pages of toys, but you'd
Yeah.
pour over them.
I remember, like, it would come and I'd be like, well, time to get to work. And I'd, like, I'd grab a pencil and I'd, like, take it to my room and be like, Mom, Dad, don't bother me for a few hours. I got a lot to work out here.
Figure out what toys I want here.
And I like had a system of how I would mark things. Like, well, this one I
Well, the
want,
fact
but this
alone that
isn't
you're
my
like
top choice.
that you put it in pencil, not in pen, implies that you were like,
Yeah.
you know what, this isn't written in stone yet.
Yeah. Do you see that as a positive or a negative?
What?
Do you appreciate decisiveness in your toy, or do you want to in your toy picking
No,
out?
because you know what, Tim, when you're going through that catalog, you got a lot of toys. You gotta be like, here's things I'm interested in, but let me get all the way through it.
Yeah.
Before I
Just get a landscape view of everything, right?
Yeah.
Get a
'cause
mile high view and then hone in on things.
What if I'm like, I want these He-Men, and then 2 pages later,
man.
2 pages later, you're like, oh, there are new Ninja Turtles?
Yeah.
Oh, I already blew everything on the He-Men.
Tom.
Mm-hmm.
What were your top toys as a tot?
My top toys, yes,
Yeah.
were when I was a kid. See, I'm told that I really wanted this, but I don't remember really wanting it. But I remember it being very difficult for my parents
You know
to
what?
get.
Parents don't remember anything
Yeah, like a lot of
because it wasn't important to them. Because they were like, you wanted some bullshit, I think.
no, but like there's a couple of stories of like, oh, you wanted this like nobody's business, and like it was, you know, like a really tough toy to get, and I'm like, I don't remember that. I'm like, maybe I was just, I mean, more likely than not, I was a little shit that was like, I want this more than anything, and then promptly forgot about it until Christmas, and then was like, oh,
Yeah,
I guess.
don't like that anymore. That was like a lifetime ago.
Yeah.
Can I tell you how I ruined my mom's Christmas one year?
Sure.
She was like, Tim, what would you like Santa to bring you for Christmas? And I was like, the only thing I want is the Big Bird bus. And I think I was like,
Big Bird bus?
Yeah.
Like the actual bus?
well, I was like 3.
Okay.
And so she was just like, the Big Bird bus? And I was like, yeah, the Big Bird
You're
bus.
like, what, I stutter, Mom?
Yeah.
The Big Bird bus.
So she assumes I saw
Write it
somewhere. And
down.
she's like, okay, cool. That's great. The Big Bird bus. Here we go. And
Hmm.
then she's probably going to wrap up a whole bunch of other, generic toy crap, right?
Yeah.
Turns out the Big Bird bus wasn't an actual
Wasn't a toy or anything. Yeah.
Like, I think I saw, like, Big Bird driving a bus on Sesame Street or something. I was like, well, I want that for
Yeah.
myself. I want that.
I want a bus.
I want a bus, and I want it to be driven by a giant friggin' bird.
Yeah.
All right? Is that so hard?
Mom.
And I just lost my mind on Christmas morning when I didn't
Oh,
get
so
the
you
big...
did remember it.
Oh, yeah, it's all I friggin' wanted. But, like, I didn't understand, like...
was in your mind, did you want a life-size bus?
I don't know. I don't
You
know.
hadn't
The
thought it all the
sick
way
mind
through?
of a 3-year-old. But my mom just kept coming to me and being like, is this a toy? Like, where did you find this? I was like... Yeah, it's a toy. I don't know. It's a Big Bird bus. Just give
It doesn't matter
come
now.
Come on. No, this was beforehand.
Oh, okay.
So she was losing her mind, and then I lost my mind, and then my grandmother came over, and she's like, "Hey, Merry Christmas, Timmy," and I was like, "Hi." She's like, "How's your Christmas?" I was like, "Bad." She's like, "Why?" I was like, "Yeah, because I didn't get the Big Bird bus." And then my grandmother like started yelling at my mom, like, "Why didn't you get him the only toy he wanted?" So I ruined Christmas pretty good.
Man.
Yeah.
Your mom should have just bought like a toy school bus, and you probably would have been like, okay.
Yeah, maybe. Either that or I would have
you would've-
gotten even crazier. Like, how dare you insult...
You think I'm stupid? You think I'm a moron?
What the hell is this? I asked for the Big Bird bus.
Yeah. She didn't want to get
Shit you trying to pull, lady.
She didn't want to get a toy bus thrown at her.
Exactly. Yeah, hey, Mom, if you're listening, I'm sorry about that one. She would never listen to this in a million years.
They, well, she ran away from the family shortly after that, right?
Yeah. She became a bus driver.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's the only way she knew how.
Insanity. She said, "One day I'll get you that Big Bird bus."
Yeah, I feel like it's a dangerous thing to ask like a 3-year-old what they want, because when you're 3, you don't really understand what the difference between like toys and like the abstract are.
Exactly. Yeah, like, okay, yeah, I want Elmo, and then like, no, not an Elmo doll.
No, you idiot! I want Elmo.
Yeah, I want
Call
to be friends and hang out with him,
Yeah.
play with him.
Well, that's
This
what
is a stuffed toy.
That's what they're. Well, that's why they got the Elmos are always evolving, Tim, so that they can.
You can tickle them.
Yeah.
You
can
can
hug them. I think there was a Hug Me Elmo.
Yeah.
There was a Chicken Dance Elmo.
Yeah, they really tried to recapture that lightning in a bottle of
Yeah.
Tickle Me Elmo.
No.
Can we talk real quick about these about the in-demand toys?
Okay.
It started with the Cabbage Patch Kid, right?
Well, that's what I was going to say, Tim. That was the specific one I was thinking of, that I was given a Cabbage Patch Kid doll when I was like very, very little. And that's the one that I'm always reminded of, like, oh, yeah, that was very hard to get. And I'm like, how do I remember wanting it?
Yeah, especially in the 80s. It wasn't like, hey, boys,
Yeah.
here's a baby doll for
Right,
you.
yeah.
But, like, I had one, too.
Yeah.
I think it was just
I
like...
think the parents bought into the hype around them.
I think that's what happens all the time.
Yeah.
Like, did any kid actually really care about getting a Tickle Me Elmo?
Well, and especially...
Like, they were like, oh, no. Do you think there was any, like, 6-year-old that was like, Rosie O'Donnell said it's the hottest toy.
Yeah.
Rosie said, like, no.
Yeah,
friggin-
so buy one for $2,000 on eBay.
Yeah, no. Guys, don't worry about it unless it's something they're asking for constantly.
Like a
Yeah.
Big Bird bus.
Like a Big Bird bus, and then
Yeah.
just make it happen somehow.
Yeah, because like as a kid, I don't even remember how I found out about toys. I found out about toys. I mean, there were commercials for toys, but otherwise it was by going to Toys R Us.
Yeah, I don't recall going to the toy store that often. Were
No,
you a
me
toy
neither.
store kid? No.
Yeah, because you have to be a maniac as a parent to take your kid to the toy store.
Yeah.
Like I remember going to the toy store with my mom when like we'd have to go to like another kid's birthday party, and I think every time she's like, "Oh, this was a mistake."
Yeah.
Because it's like, all right, well, what do you think John would like for his birthday? I'm like, I don't give a shit about John. I know what I would like, and
Yeah.
it's that right there.
Right. Yeah. Things that my kids will never know about. Should I ever have kids?
Well, right now they don't even know they have a father.
But they're big fans of the show, Tom. So they just don't know.
Yeah.
When they find out, they're gonna.
Oh, there you go.
When this all comes out in the trial,
like they won a contest.
yeah. They'll never know that toy stores exist.
Mm-hmm.
They'll never know.
You've said this before, yeah.
They'll never know that McDonald's is a thing.
Well,
Once you give it, like, I understand, And look, parenting's real easy, everybody. Just make them do the things that you need them to do.
Yeah.
Right? Eat healthy. Go to bed when they're supposed to.
Don't ask for anything.
Don't ask for anything. Bathe regularly without your supervision. You don't want to be scrubbing some kid's back like a creep every day. No, do that yourself.
Do you think dads scrub their kids back? Because you motioned like with a big long handle scrubber.
Yeah,
you imagine like bathing a 2-year-old with a big like man-sized scrubber.
How are you gonna?
That thing's on a pole for you to scrub your own back.
So I'm gonna buy a whole different brush.
Well, you wouldn't have to hold it the same way, at least.
All right. Well, I like to keep my distance. Just so everybody knows there's no funny business going on. You got a naked child in the room with you.
Anyway,
what were we talking about? Oh, they're not going to know. Especially, why would you tell your kids about McDonald's? Be like, here's a delicious thing that you're going to want all the time.
That comes with a toy.
That comes with a freaking toy.
Yeah.
And you're just going to be like, oh, yeah, but we'll only go there very rarely.
But, yeah, we'll only go there for a special treat when you're good.
No, hell no. They're not going to know about television. They're going to play with blocks.
Yeah.
Not even brightly colored blocks.
Where are they going to find out about the internet?
They're not going to know about the internet.
They're going to know
in a
the
box
other
like
kids.
A veal.
The other kids are going to tell.
I'll homeschool them.
But anyway, we're talking about Cabbage Patch Kids and hot toys.
Yeah.
So yeah, you think it's just all parents?
Yeah, because
that they
like
scam the parents.
Kids' attention spans are super short. Or I'm speaking from experience. I was regrettably a child once, and they want something, but like you can really easily distract them with something else.
Yeah.
Especially, like, if it's a better thing. Like, there's a million better things than a freaking Furby. When people are like, oh, whoa, my kid really wants a Furby. First of all, no kid wanted that friggin' Furby.
No.
It's adults trying to create a Jingle All the Way situation because they want to be just like their hero, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Or Sinbad.
Yeah. If it's Schwarzenegger versus Sinbad?
Yeah, they were both trying to get the same toy.
And
Phil
Hartman was trying to sleep with Arnold Schwarzenegger's wife while this was happening, I think.
Yeah, was that how it went?
I think it was.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I know it was Sinbad was the other guy trying. I know Phil Hartman was in it. I've never really seen Jingle All the Way.
Oh, I saw it on Thanksgiving Day, the year it came out, in the theater.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's a real treat for me.
Yeah, well, I can imagine.
You know what else I saw Thanksgiving Day, the
What?
day it came out, in the theater? Baby Geniuses.
Wow.
No, I'm sorry. Baby's Day Out.
Weren't you too old for Baby's Day Out?
Yeah, it was the only thing playing. And, like, I was, like, probably, like, 12. And, like, it was cool to be like, yo, it's Thanksgiving, and it was like after dinner, but like all the festivities are done.
Yeah,
by like
all the adults are asleep. They don't care.
Yeah,
anymore.
so it's like I can go to the movies alone. What's playing? And it was like probably an R-rated movie, or which I wasn't allowed to go to.
It's
or
like
Baby's
RoboCop 3 or Baby's Day Out.
Yeah, and so I was like, yeah, no, this is cool, right? And my friend was like, yeah, no, we love Baby's Day Out. What a cool thing for two 13-year-old boys to.
Yeah, the baby's on its own.
Yeah. I mean, Tom, this baby gets into some hijinks. He crawls through a freaking construction zone. He's like a Mr. Magoo.
Yeah, I was going to say, Baby's Day Out was just a Mr. Magoo ripoff.
Yeah, but...
Because they were like, you know what are 13-year-olds going to like more? An old man or a baby?
That shouldn't be the choice you have to
walking between I-beams and not knowing what they're doing.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a lot less annoying. It was cuter. They upped the cute
A lot
quotient.
less annoying. It's not... At any point did the baby talk to a coat rack like it was a person.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Mr. Magoo would do that all the time. It's a classic Magoo.
Baby's pooped his pants all the time.
Yeah. I remember the Christmas gift that I was most excited about. Sorry if you heard that. That was the garbage chute in my apartment. We're doing this in my apartment this week, not in the studio.
Yeah.
And a garbage chute goes like through my closet, basically. So sometimes somebody throws something heavy out from the 8th story. And it picks up quite a bit of speed by the time it gets down here.
Glamorous big city living.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, though, Tim. You got a garbage chute where you are?
Hell yeah.
What a great thing, huh?
What the hell were we doing? Schlepping our garbage out to the street like a bunch of mooks.
When you can just open up a latch and put it down. And mind you, the garbage chute's not in my apartment.
No, it's in the hallway.
Yeah.
Right next to your apartment.
Right.
You know what?
Mm-hmm.
It's same placement in my apartment.
Ah.
And I thought, like, oh, no, I'm going to be hearing garbage all the time. 99% of the time,
Yeah.
nothing. I guess nobody's got much waste in or they're burning it for heat.
Well, you know what? I'm glad. I didn't really think about it before I picked, like, where my bedroom would be. And there are some times where, like, I'm in this room, like, late at night, and I'm like, wow, if I were asleep, that would have scared the bejesus out of me and woken me up. So, anyway.
Well, this has been Shoot Talk.
Yeah.
Shooting the chutes.
Shooting the chute. That's our mini podcast.
Yeah.
You ever think about drilling a hole in the wall and then, you can catch things people are throwing out?
No, because you could go down to the
yourself.
garbage room and find it, or just rifle through the garbage anywhere.
Oh, man.
Nobody really cares if you rifle through their garbage.
Sometimes I've been down to the basement of my building. Tim, I think there's, like, experiments happening down there.
Oh, I was down there. I went down too far when I was trying to leave your building one time.
Yeah.
Like, I just went accidentally, like, didn't stop at the lobby. And, like, I heard, like, a whoop, 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 whoop. Like, yeah, something's going on down there.
They're like, we almost have it stabilized, doctor. I think the basement of my building goes under the street to, like, the other building.
Why have we not investigated this?
Because I'm telling you, I went down there once and there were, like, big machines, like,
yeah, when I was down there, it was like 800 degrees.
yeah, it's terrifying.
I was like, if I died down here, which I might just from the heat alone, and like
just throw them in one of the machines, Mickey.
And the quality of air, like, you wouldn't know. You would have been like, no, he left my place at 8:30. I saw him go downstairs.
I'd be like, all I know is that it's especially warm right now. The heater is working overtime.
And it smells like chicken.
Which is what Tim always smelled like.
Yeah. It reminds me of my friend Tim, who always reeked of chicken.
One time, you know what, Tim? Maybe sometime we'll do a Complete Guide Investigates. We'll go down to my basement and see what's going on down there.
Oh, we have those headlamps from when we went camping.
Yeah.
Oh, this is going to be great.
And we have the sleeping bags and tents.
Well, you're thinking of, like, camping. Like, you think it's like a House of Leaves
situation?
situation?
Yeah, it's a House of Leaves situation, Tim.
Wow.
We might be down there for a while.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Pack your bags, pack some beans.
That's a good way to spend the winter, I think, investigating a House of Leaves situation.
Oh, I thought you were going to say camping in the basement.
Well, that too.
Yeah. Well, one begets the other. Anyway, do you remember any Christmas in particular where you were like, this is what I want, and you got it? And maybe it was something you're like, I don't know if I'm going to get it.
No, did that ever happen to you?
That did happen to me, Tim. That happened to me in the best way possible. Oh, I thought we were going to do a flashback there. Well, we don't have that footage. Okay. When, I don't know, how old were we? But I wanted a Super Nintendo.
Okay.
And it was like a little while after the Super Nintendo was out.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did I get a Super Nintendo? Oh, you were a weird Sega household.
I was a Sega man. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry to hear that, Tom.
Well, and the only reason I want
I hope things got better for your family.
Tim, over in the UK, where we've got a lot of listeners, that was a Sega place. They love Sega in the UK.
More than Nintendo?
Yeah.
What are you, nuts?
I'm not nuts.
You're pulling my leg, and I'm not going to fall for it this time, Tom.
No, you wouldn't believe the games that came out on Master System over there.
What the hell is Master
The
System?
Sega Master System.
Just call it Sega. That's what all us
No,
Nintendo
it was
kids do.
it was the precursor to the Genesis / Mega Drive, Mega Drive. But anyway, I really want a Super Nintendo because I really wanted Street Fighter 2. So
that's why you wanted a Super Nintendo?
Yeah, so I wouldn't have to go in the back of the
smoke shop.
Yeah, and play against scumbags on like sticky controllers.
Yeah, there was this convenience store called the Smoke Shop.
Yeah, it sold cigarettes. It was a cigarette store.
Yeah, but it was also candy and egg sandwiches that smelled like cigarette smoke. All the scumbag kids would come to school with those egg sandwiches and be like, Jesus Christ. Did they open a window in that place?
Yeah. Yeah, for some reason, I think you could smoke in the smoke shop.
Yeah.
And there were just
Different
always
time.
old men at like the, because there was kind of like a place with stools where like me being a businessman now, I would not be like, you know what I need in my convenience store is some stools to encourage degenerate old men to stay
Yeah.
here longer.
And they had a Street Fighter 2 machine.
Yeah.
We should have called the cops on them. I had some dirt on them.
What dirt did you have on
There
them?
was an underage girl
Uh-huh.
that was also a smoker,
Yeah.
and she would bare her breasts for free cigarettes to the scumbag workers there.
Ugh.
Yes.
Yeah, you should.
I heard about it at baseball practice from a
Well,
scumbag.
you didn't. Tim, that's anecdotal.
That's
You
enough
can't-
to seize the tapes, right?
I doubt they had tapes.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, for no reason other than like
All the
these tapes are going to get us in trouble.
Exactly.
Yeah, they'd have to give the cops like, here's the tape where we were robbed. Like, this is just 17 seconds of footage. Well, we had to tightly edit it because some real scummy things happened
Yeah.
immediately before and after.
And I'm sure we weren't the only ones onto the fact that scummy things were like. I'm sure
That's
the
what I'm
cops
saying, yeah.
were well aware. I'm sure it was worse than that. I'm sure
No.
there was a lot of drug activity there, right?
Well, I'm sure more than anything that the cops were like, you know what, we got to keep this place going so all the degenerates have at least we can keep an eye on them all
Yeah.
in one place.
That's true. A honeypot.
Yeah. A honeypot, and that honeypot's name is Street Fighter 2. And later, Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, I was never into the fighting game. So anyway,
Uh-huh.
you got a Super Nintendo.
I got a Super Nintendo, which was like all I asked for. You know what was weird though? Or not weird, but like a little. The only bad thing, the only black mark on this whole thing was so this was maybe like a year or two after Super Nintendo came out. So now they were selling the system instead of 2 controllers in Super Mario World, just 1 controller, no game.
What?
Yeah.
Oh man, your parents knew what to do, man.
Well, yeah. Well, but
Probably save them $35.
But here's the thing. They got that, which was all I wanted. And then what I didn't ask for, and I just assumed like I would rent or something, they got me Street Fighter 2.
Oh man.
Which that game was like $80. It was a very expensive game because it was so fun. But you know what, Tim? The joke was on Nintendo and capitalism because I was able to pick up Super Mario World at FuncoLand for like $5
take that, capitalism.
because everybody
Take that, free market.
because everybody had Super Mario World, so they were looking to get rid of them. They weren't worth nothing.
Yeah, that's true.
Easy,
Good work.
easy peasy.
Tom, I'd like to shake your hand. If I was at all inclined to do so, I would. Wait,
But
hold
yeah,
on.
that was my Christmas
Did
dream come
you
true.
have one of those stupid? Here's the thing that like unsettles me when you see videos.
Oh,
on,
and
like,
also they rented 1 or 2 games for me because like they were like like we got you the system in 1 game, but I don't know. They picked out the game, so it was like Addams Family 2,
yeah.
like
So
something.
they were
else.
like, "You like that movie?
Yeah.
You were very excited to meet Raul Julia at that summer camp
Yeah,
that one time.
exactly.
Yeah,
But it was fun, and it was something where I was like, you know what, I didn't think about
they
that.
were like, Tom's a big Raul Julia fan. Let's get him this Addams Family Values.
Well, I was like, you know, that would have never crossed my mind, like that. You're like, well, we're not going to buy this kid 3 $60 games. Well, we'll rent him some because he'll get tired of that 1 game. But they didn't know that I would not get tired of Street Fighter 2. I would just play that over and over until my hands were atrophied.
Yeah. I
That's
still
why-
see the lasting effects.
Yeah, I still have Street Fighter Claw.
Let me ask you this, Tom. When you opened up that Christmas gift on
Yeah.
Christmas morning,
I said, it's all downhill from here.
did you have one of those freakouts that the kids have, like when you see them on America's Funniest Home Videos, where it's like, "Oh my God, you got me that thing!" Blah, 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 blah," and you run around and it's like too much?
No, Tim, I played it cool.
Always play it cool. It worries me. Like, also, like, if I had a kid that, like, I'd be happy, like, oh, cool, I made this kid happy or whatever by buying a gift that he wanted. But, like, nobody should want anything that badly that when
Yeah.
you get it, that's your reaction. Like,
yeah, that kid's gonna grow up to be a weirdo.
Yeah, exactly. Like, he's gonna like want things too much.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta like dial it back. Like, get that kid into transcendental meditation, man.
Yeah, he's going to be at some white-collar prison for the rest of his life because he wanted something so bad.
Either that or he's just going to be, like, the head of something or very rich and
maybe
successful and
be
powerful.
Like, you know what? I really wanted that, and I got it.
Yeah.
Now I'm a billionaire.
A billionaire.
So that was the gift that I got that I...
One time I really wanted a puppet theater, and I got it.
How old were you?
I don't know, probably 6, 7.
I think you've talked about getting the puppet theater.
Yeah, it was great. It was probably one of the best investments my parents ever made. Because it's Tom.
Because look at you now, successful puppeteer.
They got me exactly world-renowned puppeteer.
Mm-hmm.
They got, you know what the saddest thing is?
What's that?
A puppeteer
That I could have been.
a puppeteer who doesn't work for the Muppets. No, you know what? I take that back.
I mean, there are puppeteers
I'm
on
biased
Broadway.
just 'cause I like the Muppets a lot, Tom.
What about
Sorry.
like the Avenue Q people?
I've never heard of that.
It's a Broadway play.
Is it ribald though? I only like puppets when they're ribald.
What kind of puppeteers are you thinking of when you're talking about are you talking about like Eureka's Castle?
No, I'm thinking of like when people try to do like puppets for adults.
Oh yeah, don't do that. Come
Yeah.
on. Just make it for kids, but then make it for everybody so everybody likes it.
Exactly. Like, yeah.
And for God's sake, tell Big Bird to lend Tim his bus once in a while.
Give me a
That's
ride
all
on
he
the
wants.
bus. Jesus.
Now, if you had gotten Big Bird's bus, then you might have been one of those 3-year-olds.
I would have been the dog that caught the car, Tom. I wouldn't have known what to do. The boy who caught the Big Bird bus.
Yeah. You would have been like, oh.
Yeah, I would have
Well,
frozen.
this wasn't what I expected at all. That was simply a pipe dream.
I didn't really think this through.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm going to do with this.
I had that. I think I've talked about this. That I similarly asking parents for a toy that doesn't exist. I wanted like nothing else from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and the Island of Misfit Toys, the pink polka dot elephant from the Island of Misfit Toys.
Oh, yeah.
Which now
you can buy.
Now you can get them.
Yeah, at Comic-Con,
and
internet.
Well, and I've gotten like.
Do you want me to list other places you can find it?
No, like a few years ago, I think my parents got me like the pink polka dot elephant Christmas tree ornament, and I was like, oh, this is really neat, but like I don't have a Christmas tree, and I didn't want an ornament. I wanted the stuffed pink polka dot elephant.
Yeah,
you idiots. But I remember
I'm sweating right now.
My mom told me later in life, she was like, oh God, we looked everywhere for that thing. And then like, she was like, I had resigned myself to like, I'll just find a stuffed elephant and glue some felt polka dots on it. And she's like, I can't even find a stuffed elephant.
Yeah. That's tough. And you wouldn't have wanted that because you would have been like, that's not the right thing.
That's not it. Yeah.
One time I wanted
I think they knew that they're like, well, I think the kid that doesn't allow his peas to touch the potatoes is going to be pretty particular about this not being the right elephant either.
You're a military man and you like a military meal.
Tim's quoting the Robin Williams classic Toys. LL Cool James.
Ladies love Cool James.
It's true.
Tom, were you ever into Legos?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Lego?
I was into Lego. I never really had too many. You saw the Lego movie, right?
No. I
No?
watched it on a plane, and it was so loud.
The movie?
The movie is just nonstop, like...
Yeah, it's for kids.
Yeah, I know, but not everything. You know what else was for kids? Pinwheel.
You know what else just for kids? Big Bird's Bus.
And that thing was just a smooth ride through the countryside.
The spaceman in that Charlie Day plays.
Ah, Charlie Day's in that?
Yeah.
Oh.
He plays like the Lego spaceman from the 80s. I had one of those, and like I love that little Lego spaceman. But we're old enough that when we had Legos, like there weren't really sets, right? Like there were, but
Like my brother would get sets.
Mm-hmm.
But they weren't like, there wasn't the variety of sets that there are now.
Right.
And like,
or they would be not very specific. It would be like, here's a bunch of bricks and you can build 3 different things that kind of look like these pictures.
Yeah, and like my brother really seemed to be like into like I'm gonna like drill down into these instructions.
You drilled through the Legos?
Exactly. Yeah, he had to make it. He made his own Legos. He's a self-made man.
That's what that means.
He was just like, I'm gonna dive in here,
Yeah.
and like, I was like, this just looks like a lot of freaking work, man.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? But like,
yeah, then if you get something wrong, you got to take things apart.
yeah, and then according to my brother, you had to go stupid, 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 and punch yourself in the head.
Yeah. Well, that's the only way he'd learn.
Yeah. So anyway, I never enjoyed the whole like, no man, just be yourself, let your freak flag fly, and put together and build whatever you want. Like that never. Like I'd always be like, all right, I built a thing. It kind of looks like the thing that was in my head, but like. There's just a bunch of square bricks. I can't really do much with them.
Yeah.
I'm going to go play with these puppets now.
Now I'm going to retire to my puppet theater.
Yeah.
See, like, I never remember getting Legos as a present. I just remember always having
Everybody
like,
just had
big box of Legos.
Did
like
you
just
have that
random
weird
Legos.
like suitcase thing full of Legos? Remember when they had like
with the compartments?
Yeah.
No, I knew kids who had that.
Yeah.
But I just had like a plain old like Rubbermaid container full of random Legos.
I understand how they're like, oh, this will teach kids about engineering, but like not really. Right? Like that's a little bit of a
very
farce.
basic level.
Yeah,
Of like what
I understand, like, oh, things hook together like this.
Yeah.
Okay, you can press them together and they stay. Cool.
no, that's all engineering is.
Yeah. What am I just going to build, like, a wall?
Yeah. Well, are we? Let's.
Who
build-
am I, Donald Trump? Am I right? I'm building a wall.
We're gonna. Tim, I don't like political humor.
Well, I mean, political humor that is as trenchant as that. I think you had to take
what
a
are the
step
odds?
back and respect it at least.
That's true. Well, I do respect it. Yeah, Legos, great. I should get some Legos nowadays. I don't have any Legos.
Yeah.
I mean, what am I gonna do with Legos?
Have you been to a
Step
Lego
on 'em.
store?
Not in recent years.
Those Lego sets are like $1 million.
That's what, like, I think, a long time ago, I went into a Lego store at a mall, and I was like, oh, man, this is going to be awesome. I loved Lego as a kid, and now I'm old enough that I've got, like, some money. And, yeah, it's just like, oh, everything in here is $200. There's nothing, like, simple.
Yeah.
Also, when we were kids, how'd you get the minifigs? Like, they just sometimes came with
the what?
the little
I
guys.
don't know. Minifig. Like, I'm supposed to know what this
Mini
means.
figurines.
Yeah, I understand that.
Miniature
figure. Okay.
figurines.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I had, I think they just came with some of the sets. I think
Yeah.
you just bought, like, a
don't
lot
think
of, I'll take this box of, like, assorted blocks.
Yeah. I don't think
there'll
you
be
could
some
buy
men in there.
them on their own back then.
No, because there weren't grown-ups buying them for themselves. There were grown-ups buying them for children. And they were like, I don't know, yeah, just make sure there's a few guys in there so they can
Make them kiss.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I take that back. I realized that I actually have a bunch of Lego minifigs in my curio cabinet.
In your toy chest. Tom's
In my
toy chest.
cabinet of curiosities, which I bought at Comic-Con. Excuse me, I'm drunk.
I thought you bought it at IKEA.
No, the curio cabinet I bought at IKEA, but the little Lego guys I bought at Comic-Con. They're all unlicensed and unauthorized.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I'm going to call the cops on you. Forget about those guys at the
Oh,
smoke
no. Well, they'll certainly come respond to that.
shop. My favorite toys to get when I was a kid, besides the puppets, do you remember Spy-Tech?
Yeah, Spy Tech.
Which Spy-Tech doesn't exist anymore, but now it's like...
Spy Gear exists.
But the way these commercials made these Spy-Tech tools...
Well, but me and you weren't the target market, because the target market was kids who had older sisters that they want to spy on, which is kind of like a little creepy,
slumber
right?
parties.
Yeah, slumber parties.
Well, they made it look like... Because, like, there was one thing where it was a microphone that, like, a directional microphone, like a shotgun mic, that, like, you could listen to things far away.
Right.
And, like, in the commercials, like, there's kids hiding in the bushes and they're, like, getting into their neighbor's business and stuff. And then like they were like, I guess they were never really clear on the crime that these kids were investigating.
Yeah.
Like, were they investigating a murder?
Their own parents' murder.
Oh, well, all right. So
Yeah.
this had some urgency to it.
Yeah, that's why they were like, we gotta bring out the big guns.
I had that, and that's all I think I had. But there was also the one, like, it was like a black light where you could see
Semen.
recent footsteps.
Oh, I remember somebody I knew had that. You could see recent footsteps, but you had to get them to like walk through a powder first.
Yeah, and I remember there was some kid in the commercial. The kids were investigating something. I think an older sister kissing situation at the movies is what they were investigating in that commercial.
Yeah, they followed him into the movie theater.
Yeah, but they saw that there were footsteps, so they knew they were in there. It's just like, why don't you look at the people in the movie theater?
And now
Not how spies operate.
Now
I
you
guess.
two dopes got to buy movie tickets just to get in there. Where are the parents? Parents are dead, unfortunately.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, so basically, it's a kid trying to avenge his parents' death.
Yeah.
And just make sure his sister's going off the rails here.
Oh, she's getting mixed up with a bad crowd and drug use and these
Who
two.
knew what kind of X-rated movies they were seeing?
This boy and his friend from next door, they're just trying to nip it in the bud.
Yeah.
Keep some semblance of a family together.
So I got that. Some other friends got like other components, and we like literally.
So you had a detective agency.
Yeah, and we went door to door asking in the neighborhood, asking if there were any crimes that needed solving.
Which is something that, like, on paper sounds adorable for like a neighbor to get, but probably real annoying.
Yeah.
Because you probably like kept coming back, or like you asked and they're like, "Oh, no thanks, honey," and then you're like, "All right, well, let's bug the house."
Yeah, exactly.
Well, let's go hide in their bushes for an hour.
What
just
have
to
they
make
got
sure.
to hide? Yeah. Why were they so quick to dismiss the detectives that showed up, the spies that showed up?
Yeah.
Yeah. So those were I hate to say it, ultimately useless toys. They didn't they didn't solve one murder, Tom.
Yeah. A lot of grand larceny, but no murders. I don't think I had any spy tech things because I think my parents successfully talked me out of like, that stuff doesn't work like that. It's not that good.
Ah.
And I'd be like, yeah, but I want it. And they're like, nope, it's not good. Like, that thing's just a green flashlight. It's not anything else. I'm like, all right.
That's smart.
Yeah.
Just
I mean, they would have to try and talk me out of it, like, over my probably, like, incessant screaming. But they'd distract me with something else. They'd probably be like, don't you want to just play video games?
that's
like
the thing. Just if a kid wants something, just distract them with something else.
Yeah. Candy.
Video games.
Yeah, candy or
Soda.
video games. Soda.
McDonald's. Nerf. They still make Nerf is probably
Nerf's
going.
bigger than ever, Tim. They sell Nerf to adults nowadays.
I'll tell you one thing.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you think Nerf peaked?
I don't think it's peaked yet. I think it's still on the way up.
So for a minute, it was just like soccer balls.
Yeah,
right?
it was just sports equipment.
Yeah. And
Before they
then-
got the idea about the darts.
Then it all changed. You know what? You can cut off anything that happened after the straight up Nerf bow and arrow. That thing is a perfect toy because, like, you get a bunch of arrows, you shoot them, it never hurts, but like it's like skillful, right? Like
Yeah,
you
a
can
little
get like
bit.
really good at it.
It
like,
wasn't like a real bow. It was like you pulled it back and it clicked, and then you like press a button.
No, Tom, not at all.
It was not like just a string.
No, it was a tube with
Yeah.
strings. The strings didn't actually do anything.
Right, that's what I'm
But
saying.
it was spring loaded. You
Oh,
pulled it
okay,
back,
yeah.
and then you let go.
Yeah.
And then the air puffed out the front
Right.
and shot the arrow out. But those arrows went a long way.
They sure did, yeah.
So you could do so much with it. You could like play games with it. You could just shoot your friends from like an inch away, and that kind of hurts when you hit them in the
Yeah.
face, right? Like it was perfect. Then they started coming out with the ones with the suction cups, and like like it had like a bandolier and stuff on there. It's like, nah, I don't care about any of that stuff. Just the Nerf bow and arrow. Probably, for my money's, Tim's top to teen toy pick for 2016. The original Nerf bow and arrow.
You probably can't even get it anymore.
No, it's so sad.
Yeah.
eBay.
Yeah, maybe.
Comic-Con, maybe.
Oh, you can't get it at Comic-Con.
It's an old toy, Tom.
Yeah, but you know what? Old Nerf toys, like, they biodegrade. They do not.
That's true.
They do not last, which is good. Good for the environment.
Yeah.
You can eat them when you're done with them.
Yeah. I bet a bunch of dogs have died from eating Nerf, though. It probably sops up all like the necessary acids in your stomach, right?
Maybe it sops up all the poisons.
That's true. All right, so if your dog ever drinks poison, make him eat a Nerf football afterwards.
Do you remember when the Nerf like spiral footballs came out?
Yeah, I remember the Nerf spiral footballs, Tom.
Yeah, that was a big deal. That was,
Nerf is a pretty great company, huh?
Yeah.
I think they diluted their brand. I think they tried to grow too big. And like, look, it's good for them. It's bad for the purists like you and I.
Well, maybe. So are you proposing they start some kind of like Nerf Originals line?
Why the hell not? Everybody else is doing it to appeal to millennial idiots like us.
It's true. Retro Nerf line.
Retro Nerf would be amazing. You get the crew.
It's
Omar
a monthly
Gooding.
Subscription.
You get who were the other
Donnie
kids?
Jeffcoat.
Donnie Jeffcoat. You reboot Wild and Crazy Kids on Nickelodeon, where they always use those Nerf bow and arrows
That's
for
true.
things.
But I don't think they had like a Nerf sponsorship.
No, they always had to tape over
Yeah,
the man.
sad.
That show was low budget as hell.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I didn't even realize
They
it.
just like went to some the producer's backyard.
Yeah.
Yeah. People don't know what we're talking about.
Good for them. What
Yeah.
wild and crazy. What wild and crazy.
Yeah. Omar Gooding, the brother of Cuba Gooding Jr.,
And Donnie Jeffcoat. And then
the brother of Don Jeffcoat, the founder of our country.
Don Jeffcoat.
I'm kidding.
Donnie Jeffcoat was the brother of Don Jeffcoat?
Yeah.
Wow. That is something to wrap your mind around.
That's why they called him Donnie.
Did you ever have a Teddy Ruxpin?
Yeah, I had a Teddy Ruxpin, Tim.
Yeah, me too, but it was always kind of underwhelming.
Yeah, well, it wasn't interactive.
Yeah.
It was just a tape player with like a mouth that would kind of move, not necessarily in sync. How'd
Right.
that mouth work? Was there like a different track on the tape that would tell the tape? Because if you put other tapes in, did the mouth work?
I think so.
Yeah, I think it did,
I
too.
think it was one of those things where, I mean, it wasn't enunciating anything, right? Like, it wasn't making
Yeah, it
like
was
a
just like,
different mouth. It just went
"Meh,
like, vent, 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 open, close, open, close, open, close. So I think it was set up where, like,
on
if-
peaks.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
If there's sound coming through,
Open up
make
that
the
mouth.
motor run. Yeah.
Didn't he have like a friend who was a worm or something?
Yeah,
A
that sounds
centipede?
familiar.
Yeah. And I think you could get both of them and play the tapes together. And I remember like I really wanted that. And my parents were like, no.
It doesn't work like that, you idiot.
Yeah. They're like, you got, I remember I had little Teddy Ruxpin toys. Maybe it was my brother that were like, I don't know why. It just in my head, they were so amazing. They were so well made. That was a weird show. You ever watched Teddy Ruxpin?
Hell no.
He was like, he had like a flying ship like Super Mario Brothers 3.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, they made him like technologically advanced?
No, it was like a flying wooden ship.
Yeah,
It was
I
very
understand.
strange. I don't understand what, like, was this supposed to be a different planet? Is this supposed to coexist with human beings?
What do you think was like the MO when they were like, okay, we're hiring writers, and like probably just everybody in Hollywood wanted to write on sitcoms, right? They wanted to like get that.
I thought you
coveted,
were
like,
saying everybody wanted to write on Teddy Ruxpin. Steven Spielberg was banging down their door.
you know, like they were like, let me get that Family Ties money, right? Like let me get that Cheers money, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, well, no, you got to work your way up. Like, start on like the kid shows or whatever, get some experience. Do you think they just went in and it's like, all right, Teddy Ruxpin, light up a doobie and just let the.
I think it was like,
your freak
drop
flag
some
fly?
fucking acid and let's you know,
Let's build this flying pirate ship and
let's drop some acid.
sail it to the goddamn moon.
Outline 10 seasons worth of Teddy Ruxpin stuff. And yeah, when I watch those old cartoons, like I haven't watched the old Teddy Ruxpin cartoons, but even just thinking about it, I'm like, what the hell were the plots of Teddy Ruxpin? Was there like love interests? Sorry, there's a motorcycle going
There's
by.
a cool guy outside.
Like love interests? Were there the danger, peril? There were bad guys. I remember there were bad guys.
Who wanted to harm Teddy? He just told his stories. Leave him alone.
Yeah, I don't remember if it was one of those situations where it was like the bad guys wanted to get him, or if it was like, oh, they had plans to take over the world and Teddy Ruxpin always had to stop them. What the hell's Teddy Ruxpin going to do? He's a portly little talking teddy bear.
Yeah. I think you might be kind of confusing him with Winnie the Pooh a little bit. Because, like, Teddy Ruxpin was, like, kind of wizened. He was kind of like, gather around and I'll tell you a tale.
Yeah. He
like
wore that weird vest.
He did have a weird vest. Did he have little glasses, or am I imagining this? Okay.
I think his eyes could move, though.
Yeah.
And the vest, you could, like, take off the back. That's where you put the tapes in. I think probably because they probably had him just like a regular bear, and then they're like, oh, some of the kids screamed when we, had to, like, rip open his skin to put a new tape in. And kind of just put a vest on him.
Kids today would be like, what the hell is this? They have the video. You don't know what the thing is that I was told? And this was a few years ago. This is what I'm hearing from the
From the other moms.
From the other moms down at the playground, that they sell video games now.
Uh-huh.
And you probably know all about this. And then you need to buy, like, an action figure of a character to sit on top of the video game system in order to play that character. So, like, they can endlessly kind of make you pay for a game by just introducing these new characters, and then you just have to keep buying toys for your kids that, like, serve no functional purpose. Because, like, why would a kid be like, now let's go take these action figures from the video game
and make them kiss
and make them go on their own kissing adventures, when it's just like, no, there's this whole friggin' game where it's like smart adults have come up with situations and scenarios to put these guys in.
Yeah, but it also makes sense. It's easier to sell that little toy for $10 than it is to sell downloadable content for $10.
I know, but, like, kids, they
I've got a bunch of those for my Nintendo. I got the Amiibo. That's what that is. The little Mario and the little
track of all your goddamn toys, Tom. If you think, like, oh no, that's the specific toy I have, and I'd be like, oh, that one.
Well, Tim, I've been trying to give you these handouts that explain all my toys, but you've been refusing them. So whose fault is it in the end?
Tom?
Mm-hmm.
Power Wheels.
Oh,
that
was
my
up
white
there.
whale.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And it never happened.
No, never happened for me either.
How much could those have cost? $100?
Nowadays they're like $300 to $500.
These were cars that you could sit in, a child could sit in, and you drive around your friggin' yard.
Yeah, they were electric powered.
Yeah, and it was amazing, and only the shittiest kids had them.
They never worked that well, though.
They worked well enough when I was at I won't say the name of the family, but it was the most thrilling 8 minutes of my life up until that point.
See, I always remember it being a thing where it's like I'm sure.
Am I boring you, Tom?
Yeah, I'm sure the battery technology has come a long way. But when we were kids, I always remember being like, this Power Wheel is going to last for like 4 minutes, and then it's going to have to charge overnight.
Yeah. Oh, well.
But
4 minutes of friggin' bliss.
But that was the thing. The kid that I knew that had one, I never really got to ride it because of that.
Yeah.
Because it was like, this thing takes all day to charge.
I hate it when the kids with the cool toys were like, man, that's not that good. I'd be like, shut up. 2 minutes of this toy is better than is better than days with my goddamn puppet theater, which I love, by the way.
Well, no, and not to just shit on crappy kids, but those kids, it was always the
Don't worry,
kids.
those crappy kids will become crappy adults, Tom.
In a lot of cases, they have that I'm thinking of. Kids that would have like
you meant current crappy kids that you knew. I guess you don't know too many kids. I realize I don't know any teenagers. I don't know one teenager.
Yeah, Tim, I would assume that's deliberate.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's not. It'd be weird if you knew a lot of teenagers.
Yeah. I just don't have like any of my family currently.
Right. Yeah.
It's weird.
They've all aged out.
All aged out.
No, the kids with the like really awesome toys that they were like, you would go to their house. I'm yawning so much,
Because you're
Tim.
drunk.
You go to their house like 6 months after they would get one of these toys. And 3 months after, 5 months after, they had long been like, meh. And you'd be like, hey, can I try that thing out now? Now that, it's been gathering mothballs here? And they'd be like, yeah, sure. You know what, though? I'm going to try it real quick first. And then they'd wear out the battery.
Yeah.
Ah.
Screw you, Jason.
Yeah. All those kids.
Tom, do you have my top toy pick for tots to tweens to teens is the Nerf Classic bow and arrow.
Mm-hmm.
What's your top toy pick? We got a lot of parents listening here. They want to know what to get their kid for Christmas. Give them your top.
Well, I would say you can't go wrong with Legos.
Really? You don't even like Legos that much?
I like Lego. My favorite thing, you can't go wrong with video games.
Yeah, all right.
Great toy.
I thought maybe you'd be a little creative about it.
Lego is creative, and so is video games. My favorite kid says, you know what they have nowadays? Actually, I saw in like a Toys R Us flyer. And I was like, gee, god damn it. Why weren't these around when we were kids? They sell it like Toys R Us, just like giant cardboard boxes for $10.
Smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're like, a cardboard house or whatever. But, it's still cardboard color, that cardboard brown. And it's just got some black lines where, like, a window would be and stuff. To get the parents feeling like they're not just buying their kid a cardboard box.
Just go get this down at the thing. It's like, no, you can't.
Yeah.
You can't.
But guess what? Kids love nothing more. It's cliche. But I would love nothing more. I'm thinking about getting a new refrigerator just so I can get a new cardboard box.
There was a refrigerator box, I remember, at the Newman's house next door. That was the best weekend of my friggin' life.
Yeah.
We'd go into that box, and then an adult would just lift it up.
Turn it up, yeah. So then you were stuck.
So you're stuck in it, and we were probably 3 or 4, so we were just banging it, bouncing off the walls, trying to knock it over, and finally we did knock it over, and you come tumbling out.
Yeah.
The best fun I've ever had in my whole friggin' life.
Best time of your life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember somebody having a cardboard box, and we'd all go in it, and then, my family's house is on a hill, so then we just roll down the hill in the box.
Into the street.
Yeah, you can imagine a more fun time.
Yeah. Boxes.
Yeah.
This episode's brought to you by boxes.
I wish.
Yeah. Let's get big box on the line.
Tim, you know what? Very narrow margins on boxes, on cardboard boxes.
Imagine. All right, Tom. I think that does it for our toy gift guide for 2016.
God,
I think we covered all the bases.
Yeah, now I'm not going to be able to sleep just thinking about all these toys.
Yeah, all these boxes. Visions of boxes dancing through your head.
If you like the show, you can go to tcgt.com to find out more. You can follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/Complete Guide. You can follow us on Twitter @Complete Guide. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram @Tom Reynolds.
You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram @YourPalTim.
And if you want to support the show, you can do it the fun way, tcgt.com/pledge, where you can become a Patreon subscriber and get a bunch of fun stuff like weekly episodes, mini episodes of the news starring Tim and Tom. Also,
old episodes of Amazing Facts on that feed.
100 episodes of Amazing Facts.
People are watching us record this right now on the internet. I'm pointing at them at a camera.
Yeah.
They're watching. You're petting a dog. It's a thrilling thing. They're all wonderful Patreon supporters.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
You can also support us the easy way, tcgt.com/Amazon, where you can do your normal Amazon shopping. But we get a little bit of a kickback.
Brings you to the same Amazon you know and love.
Yeah.
Gives us a little money and no cost to you.
Yeah.
We sure would appreciate it. Reddit.com/r/TCGTE. That is run by the lovely Cat, who runs our quotes account as well.
Fun discussions happening on there.
A lot of discussion, a lot of back and forth, a lot of
give and take.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah, I think that those are all the things.
There's something I wanted to ask you.
Okay.
That it's really been burning a hole.
Uh-huh.
It's not about you. But I didn't think it was appropriate to bring up earlier in the show.
Right. Now that everybody's tuned out.
We have a friend, a mutual friend, who has some children.
Mm-hmm.
And one of his children looks just like the elf on the shelf. Like a dead ringer
I don't
for
think
the elf
I
on the
know
shelf.
who this is. At least not off the top of my
Now,
head.
here's the thing.
Uh-huh.
If you were a parent
Yeah.
and your good friend
Mm-hmm.
came to you and was like, hey, your kid looks like the elf on the shelf.
Uh-huh.
Is that too offensive for me to say to somebody?
Oh, I thought you were going to say, like, if you went to him there and you were like, hey, can I borrow your kid for, like, a night and tell my kids the elf on the shelf came to life?
No, the elf on the shelf isn't a boy. He's a man.
He's an elf.
Yeah, that's true.
The elf is this kid the same proportions as the elf on the shelf?
Yeah, the elf on the shelf is normal human proportions. Just
No.
small. He's not. Yeah, he is.
but he's like a man, but small with a big head. This kid's not small with a big head, is he?
No, the elf on the shelf is like a regular, like it's not like a cartoon character proportions.
He's got a little bit bigger head. And he's not life size.
No, but the kid, imagine the child was the size of the elf on the shelf. He'd be a dead ringer for the elf on the shelf.
He's that skinny?
Yeah, he's pretty skinny.
Wow.
Yeah.
You should probably talk to him about that first.
Yeah, but I don't think you have an accurate picture of the
I
elf
think
on
you
the
can
shelf.
tell
on
somebody that their kid looks like the elf on the shelf, and that's fine.
there. Yeah, it's not like
It's kind of like a funny face.
yeah, I don't know. It's not even like a like crazy funny face. Like the elf on the shelf looks
Yeah, it's not like a wacky
pretty much
face.
regular.
Yeah, he's just kind of like a sly, I'm watching you.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna tell him.
Good.
I'm glad we had this talk.
Me too.
All right.
We'll see you next week.
That was a HeadGum podcast.